Hey Switch 2 fans, welcome back to another video. Yes, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. You heard me right. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Are you happy about that? Are you unhappy about that? But Microsoft have basically came out and confirmed, and Nintendo have reconfirmed their commitment to bringing Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch. I'm happy about it. Let me know if you are. I wonder if they're going to include mouse support for the new Joy-Con mouse feature. That'd be kind of interesting, right? It'd be like playing Call of Duty on PC. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see what they've got to say. But first, before we do, like, subscribe, click the bell icon for more Switch 2 content on your homepage every day. I'm your old buddy Blaze, always doing Switch 2 tech content. And check the links down below in the video description for some really great Switch 2 accessories. I really recommend you check out the entire range of JSOC's Switch 2 accessories. They've got amazing accessories, really high quality. They're a really trusted brand in handheld gaming. Use code BLAZE2K for money off. And also, if you didn't see my Tom Talk Slim carrying case review on my unboxing video for the Switch 2, I definitely recommend you check the link down below and check this out. This is by far one of the best quality Slim cases I have seen for any console, and I'm really impressed with Tom Talk. The link to this will be in the video description as well. They've got a bunch of really awesome different colors here, so definitely check them out. I'm going to be doing a standalone review for this in either today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I would get this ordered, honestly. If you haven't got a carry case or a slim case for your Switch 2, it just makes it easier. It keeps it all protected, keeps the thumbsticks protected, the screen protected, and you can just shove it in your backpack. So yeah, Microsoft and Activision have basically reconfirmed that Call of Duty is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how they're going to make it work because I'm struggling to play Call of Duty on my Steam Deck. And, you know, getting 60 frames a second can be a challenge at some points. But it just goes to show you that this Nintendo Switch 2 is more powerful than the Steam Deck. So if the Steam Deck can almost get 60, the Nintendo Switch 2, you know, shouldn't have a problem. It's not going to look as good as the PS5 or the Xbox Series X or a gaming PC, we know that, but to have it running will be a feat in itself, I would say. So Nintendo's platforms were notably absent from the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 7 announcement. So what exactly is going on here now? The 10-year deal, as you know, Activision and Nintendo signed a 10-year deal to basically bring Activision games to the Switch 2. And then I was kind of surprised during the Xbox Game Showcase, we never saw more announcements about games that were announced coming to the Switch 2. I never saw the Switch 2 logo that many times. We saw it in like a couple of trailers, that was it. Call of Duty was not one of them. But there's not been any public updates, although there have not been any public updates according to Kotaku's senior reporter Ethan Geck. Nintendo and Microsoft still plan to announce something in the future. It's not exactly the most thrilling development, but when Kotaku reached out to Microsoft about this, it was reassured that it's still happening. But what about the Switch 2? More than 2 years after Microsoft and Nintendo entered into an agreement to bring COD to the Switch, nothing has materialized. Sources close to the matter tell Kotaku that both sides are still working on it. I think a big reason why it's been 2 years since the announcement that Call of Duty was coming to the Switch, the reason it hasn't came to the Switch already is because Microsoft and Activision were probably just waiting on better hardware. I think it was darn near impossible to get any Call of Duty game running on the OG Switch, because it's a multiplayer game, because it's very intensive, because you need decent frame rates, 60 frames minimum. I refuse to play this if this is any less than 60 on the Switch 2. But obviously, you know, the Switch 1 just had no chance of playing this at all. It would be like playing Minecraft with guns, right? GameSpot also got in contact with Activision and was told both sides are still working on it, adding how the team is committed to getting the franchise on Switch, and details will be shared when they're ready. Obviously, I'm sure Nintendo are pretty anxious and itching to get the game on Switch, because it's obviously going to be a big deal. There's a lot of people that, you know, whose Switch is their only console, and Call of Duty is such a massive juggernaut of a franchise. You know, it's going to be unreal playing something like that, a first-person shooter, the most successful first-person shooter in the world, in history, on a handheld device at all, you know, locally on the Switch 2. I mean, sure, you could do it on the Steam Deck. Is it optimized for the Steam Deck? You have to install Windows on the Steam Deck. Obviously, there's other Windows handhelds that Call of Duty is going to run on, but on a Nintendo device, it's a pretty big deal. The last time we saw Call of Duty on a Nintendo device was the Wii U. And the Wii U wasn't even that successful, and I don't even think we sold that many copies of Call of Duty on the Wii U. But that was a long time ago, right? So, Switch 2, new horizons, new games. I'm happy about that. So, Microsoft and Nintendo obviously entered into that 10-year commitment to bring COD to Nintendo's platforms back in 2022. The deal made legally binding in 2023, then followed with Microsoft being given the all clear on the Activision Blizzard acquisition later in the same year. Black Ops 6 arrived on multiple platforms last year, so if you're wondering, yes, Call of Duty is coming in some way or form to Nintendo's hardware in the future. And let's see what people in the comments have to say. I'm surprised people were expecting current gen CODs on Switch 2. The most I expected were ports of some older games or a side game killer for Switch 2. No, I 100% believe that they're bringing Call of Duty Black Ops 7 probably to the Switch 2. 100% it can run it. It's just going to run at lower, run at lower quality. And yeah, the devs are still going to have to do a lot of work to optimize it, because the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is going to be like a high-end current gen game. They're going to have to do a lot of improvements and optimizations on the back end of the game and the game engine to basically squeeze as many frames out of that game as possible on the Switch 2, because as you know, it's a competitive game. You can't be playing Call of Duty at 40 frames or 30 frames a second. It needs 60 minimum. So that's going to be a challenge in itself for the developers, for Activision, for Microsoft, and even for Nintendo. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo have a team that will be meeting the Activision or the development studio and basically giving them a couple of tips or tricks how to squeeze as much performance out of that system. We've seen studios do that before. We've seen Xbox do that, have a team work with the development studios and publishers to basically squeeze game performance and get the most out of it for their hardware, like the Xbox Series S. They still do that to this day. Black Myth Wukong being an example, Elden Ring being an example. The big companies like Nintendo and Microsoft, they want the big games on their hardware, and they're willing to actually send a team of engineers to the studios, to the development studios, to basically help them optimize that game to make it run the best it can on their hardware. And I think that's going to be the case here, especially with something as big as Call of Duty. So GR10 says, I'd be happy with a remastered edition of Black Ops 2, honestly. I enjoyed it from the Wii U, would love it on the Switch with the DLC the Wii U version never received. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get like some compilation COD game with like a lot of the classic, the original Modern Warfare, although there has been remakes of the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare COD 4 series. We might see a Black Ops compilation with the multiple campaigns from the Black Ops franchise released and on the Switch 2. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm pretty confident. Now, I'm gonna make a bold statement, a bold prediction here. Black Ops 7 is coming to the Switch 2. On release, we don't know yet. Might be a little bit early to say. And if it was, we'd maybe see that announced in the preview here. So the fact that we didn't see the announcement here either means that it won't be ready on release, or maybe that Nintendo are going to have Nintendo basically want to announce it on their own terms during a Nintendo Direct or something, or they want to have a separate like announcement reveal for the Nintendo Switch version, because it's been such a long time since COD was on a Nintendo console. Who knows? But there could be a million reasons why this wasn't announced, obviously, on or during the reveal. And honestly, I don't even think we saw any console manufacturer. I don't think we saw PlayStation. I don't think we saw anything. Game Pass, any details of what systems it would be on the preview trailer. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is going to make it for launch day. These types of games are not what I buy Nintendo hardware for. Happy for those who want to play shooters like these, but they're not for me. I do love some boomer shooters though. Black Ops 7 is still coming to PS4, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it on Switch 2. Whichever Call of Duty game comes to Switch 2, I expect it will be revealed at a Direct anyway. Probably 100% agree with that. Obviously, it's still early days for Black Ops 7. It usually comes out around November, and as you know, it's only June. We're probably going to see a multiplayer beta, open beta at some point, and I'm excited for that. I just hope they don't bring wall running and jetpacks back to the game. Please, Activision, don't do that. But besides that, I fully expect Black Ops 7 to come to the Switch 2. It isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. PS4 is getting it, so why wouldn't the Switch 2? Anyways, guys, love you. I appreciate you. I'm Blaze2K. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe for more Switch 2 content on your homepage every day. And like I said, check the links in the description for some really great accessories. Check out the JSOX gaming accessories. You'll find a bunch of really great stuff for the Switch 2 here. They're all shipping right now. JSOX is a really great brand. Recommend you buy from their website. Use code Blaze2K for money off. And also, the TomTalk Slim Carry Case. Absolutely amazing. It's on our Switch all the time, constantly, and is literally necessary if you're going to be traveling with your Switch 2. If you're traveling light and you want to bring your Switch 2 with you and just shove it in the backpack without having to worry about it getting damaged, as you can see, it looks very nice and it fits in really well in backpacks, in storage. It's just awesome. Take it from me, I use mine a lot. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Stay cool, stay happy, enjoy your summer, and let me know what games you're playing right now on the Nintendo Switch 2. Peace out. Bye.
Let's go.